Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing details. Today, we're discussing a 2019 launch from DeWitt. This is the Academia Our Planet, and that is the word hour as in hours of the day. Our Planet is Jerome DeWitt's take on a dual time watch, and it is a large one, 46 millimeters in diameter. This watch is crafted from diamond-like carbon-coated titanium. So though large, it's very light. It's 13.7 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, it's a fairly small 50.1 millimeters. So for the size of the case, the lug-to-lug dimension is reasonable, and then it has a 23 millimeter spacing between the lugs. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you're going to see that it is in fact wearable on a wrist of my size. Normally a 46, I would say don't even try it on a wrist my size, but you can see that the short lug-to-lug dimension for a case of 46 millimeters means that it does fit. You can see that down the barrel, it's not quite over the edge of my wrist, and over the top you can see the same. It's also surprisingly flat. At under 14 millimeters thick with a sloped bezel, it will slide underneath most dress cuffs, so tight sleeves should not be an impediment to this watch. The strap is large rectangular scale, symmetrical scale alligator leather, so a particularly expensive cut. You can see DeWitt uses curved spring bars to give the strap a greater range of motion. The stitch is monotone black. You can see the sides are sheer, but they're actually folded. They're not cut. On the underside, we have calfskin, and you can see this is a brand new DeWitt factory strap. We have a matching DLC buckle. It's a single fold deployant clasp to help avoid dropping your watch, and you can see it has a trigger release system, so it will not pop open unprompted. It has a great deal of security thanks to that trigger release system. It is DeWitt branded. The case features short, stubby, and angular lugs with a satin finish, and the remainder includes the Imperial Colonnade design that's part of DeWitt history dating back to the very first DeWitt branded watches in 2003. Now, Jerome DeWitt claims lineage to probably too many royal families of Europe, but at a bare minimum, he wants you to know that he is a relation of Napoleon. It's not entirely certain whether that is the true Emperor Napoleon or one of his relations, but according to Jerome DeWitt, the lineage is a direct, not indirect one. He also wants you to know that he's not related to Napoleon III, the great pretender defeated at Sedan. Of course, the watch features that colonnade motif on its bezel as well, and just about everything here is matte finished with the exception of the DeWitt branded crown, which is gloss. Now on the dial, we've got a lot going on. We have two time indicators. We have a globe that is comprised of 192 parts. We have a dial side escapement and free sprung balance. So let's just go from left to right and top to bottom. Okay, first thing you're going to see here, we have a seconds display. Then we have two different indications of time. Unscrew this crown right here. By the way, it is not a screw-down crown. I don't want to imply that it is a screw-down crown, but pull the crown out, and you can see that I'm able to set both of the time zones. If I want to set just one, I pull the crown to an intermediate position, and now in one direction, the crown will set that secondary time zone. In the other direction, the crown will change the time zone indicated on that little globe down there. So what you do is you align your current time zone with the red index. So I am US East Coast, so that's where I am. And then once you have set your time zone, then you turn in the other direction, and you set your reference time. So remember, that time zone display, this is designed to coordinate with the reference time zone. It tells you the time and the AM, PM where you are not. And by turning in opposite directions, you can cycle these two different displays. You can also see that there's a very cool full black polished bicycle style chain that turns that complex globe assembly. Now, once you have fixed the time zone of choice, then it's not so much the globe that turns as the AM PM blue-white indicator that sits inside the globe. So it will tell you whether it's day or night in your time zone of reference. That's how that works. Finishing is good. There is beveling on most bridges. All screw heads are black polished. There's also a lot of media blasting to create a matte finish, plus a coarser sort of graining across the details of the globe. The entire chain is black polished, and you can see that we have a single-sided balance cock with a black polished stud holder. It is a free-sprung balance architecture, so it is adjusted in all positions according to DeWitt. I'm going to interpret that to mean 5 positions, because 5 positions would be the chronometer standard. I expect he would write 6 positions if it were 6 position adjusted, because that is unusual and exceptional. This is a 29 joule movement. Again, it's beaten away at 3 hertz or 6 beats per second, and it does have that second time zone capability. Turning it all over, there's action on the back side of the watch, but maybe not as much as you would expect. A number of different finishes. You could also see that the pins used to locate the bridges have been black polished on their top, so that's nice attention to detail. There's also satination on all of the wheels, and this watch is water resistant down to 30 meters, so don't take it swimming. Flipping back to the dial side, you can see that the interior of the wheels associated with the setting, including of the second time zone, those have actually been beveled, and interior beveled wheels are quite rare in the industry. It's the kind of thing you would expect from the likes of, say, Grubel Forsey or Laurent Ferrier, so it's nice to see on a watch like this. There's also satination and mirror beveling of the steel components that hide just above the setting works, the motion works for the primary and secondary time zones. So lots to love here from an unusual brand run by a truly colorful character, Jerome DeWitt. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.